Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Stories by Sohani. I know it's been a long time since you've seen me here, but I will try my best to be as consistent as possible. From now on, it's just a little difficult to manage all aspects of life at one time. But are you planning to move to Germany in the upcoming few months and are looking for an accommodation? Know these 5 tips before you begin apartment hunting. So the first important thing is to know about the types of apartments available for you to rent as a student in Germany. The first one are studio apartments, which are one-room apartments available to you and include a small kitchen and a bathroom. Now these can be a little expensive on your pocket, but if you need privacy, these are your best bets. The second one is a shared accommodation, which is called a Wohngemeinschaft in German, also called WG, which is written as WG. Now, in such type of a situation, you get a private room, but you share the kitchen and the bathroom with a few more people living with you. These type of accommodations are mostly easy on your pocket and also help you make new friends in the new city or new country that you've just moved to. The last type are student dormitories, which are housing spaces from the universities and have accommodations ranging from one-room apartments to shared accommodations. Now, these rooms are furnished in most cases and are the cheapest on your pocket. Before we move ahead, there are a few important terms you need to know before you begin apartment hunting. The first one being Kaltmiete, which means cold rent and includes only the cost of the place that you are living in and does not include any additional costs. That brings me to my next point, which is Warmmiete or warm rent, and this mostly includes a few additional costs like water and heating costs, but you always need to cross check with your landlord or your future flatmates as to what are the additional costs included in the warm rent. Now, additional costs remind me of the word Nebenkosten, which is the direct translation of additional costs in German, and these refer to costs for water, heating, electricity, internet, and also the radio tax in some cases. Now, you must know that if you are registered as a resident in Germany and are 18 years old or older, you are eligible to pay radio tax, or should I say, you are supposed to pay radio tax, irrespective of the fact that you use the service or not. While looking for an accommodation, you must also know that some rooms are available furnished, some not. So the term for it that you might be looking for is Mobilisierung, which means furnishing. And if your room is furnished, it will be written mobiliert. And if it's not, then it's unmobiliert. The words will be available here for you to refer in case you find these words in the advertisement. And in case your room is not furnished, I will recommend looking for second-hand furniture on eBay Kleinanzeigen, or if you want to buy new furniture, IKEA is your best go. Now that we've known all the important terms needed before we begin apartment hunting, where do we find an apartment? Now, there are different apps and websites available like WG gesucht, Immobilien Scout 24, eBay Kleinanzeigen, where you can find advertisements of shared accommodations or private accommodations that include studio apartments. There are also advertisements on local newspapers that are also available online, but do not forget to check out the Facebook groups of the city you are moving in. You will also find a lot of options there. And if you want to apply for a student dormitory, you will want to check out the website of your university or the Studierendenwerk of your university, where you can find the application form for the student dorm. And once you've found out the suitable room or apartment you're looking for, it's time to contact the landlord or your future flatmates if it's a shared accommodation. Now, how do you contact them? The first and foremost thing is that if you're contacting the landlord, you maintain a formal tone, and if you're contacting your future flatmates in a shared accommodation, I would recommend keeping a semi-formal tone wherein you tell them about yourself but also respect them in your message. Apart from that, it is also important that you keep in mind the language of communication. Now, in case the advertisement is in German and you know German, I would recommend that you contact them in German. But if you do not know German, you can contact them in English. But do not forget to read the description of the advertisement before contacting them. Now, in the message that you send to your landlord or your future flatmate, please do not forget to mention that you are a student and which degree program you're studying at the university in the city, and what your age is, and if you smoke or if you have a pet, and In case you are applying for a shared accommodation, do not forget to mention your hobbies, because your future flatmates get to read and know you better, and then they will invite you for an appointment to see the flat, and that is called VG casting. So they meet the future prospective flatmates, and then they get to decide who gets to live with them. So mentioning your hobbies and how important cleanliness is to you, and other important details that might give them a picture of your personality or of yourself, it is going to break the deal. So now here comes my secret tip when you're applying for an accommodation in Germany. Read the description of the text and customize the text according to the advertisement. Do not, I repeat, please do not copy and paste your text to each and every landlord, because that is something that the Germans do not like. Now, how do you customize your text? You mention small details from the advertisement. Say, for example, if the shared accommodation has a balcony and you saw a picture of it, or saw that it was mentioned in the description, you write it in your message saying, I'm really happy to know that your house has a balcony. That's how you customize your text and give an impression that you are not copying and pasting the text to everyone you contact, but are really reading the description of the advertisement and are really interested in renting out the room or the apartment. That brings me to my last point, which is details you need to know before you're signing the contract. The first one is details on the rent. So if it's the kalt meter or the warm meter, and includes Nebenkosten and what sort of additional costs are included in the warm meter or warm rent, is supposed to be asked by you before signing the contract. And also do not forget to ask if it is not mentioned in the advertisement if the room is furnished or not. You also might want to know the duration of the contract that you will be signing, and what happens if you leave early. In most cases, if you leave the room or apartment early, you are supposed to find someone who will cover that period and maybe live longer in that house, but it is your duty in most cases to find someone to live in that place. Another important thing that I forgot to mention is the deposit that you are supposed to give to the landlord before um, you move in. And in most cases, the deposit is 2 times the rent that you're paying. So make sure that you do not pay any amount before you see the room or accommodation in person, because that's how a lot of people get scammed. Last but not the least, if you are unable to find an accommodation and your semester begins soon, do not hesitate to contact the international office of your university. They will definitely take steps to help you out in finding an accommodation, be it a short-term accommodation or long-term accommodation, but I'm sure they will help you out. So that was it from my side. In case you have any more questions regarding accommodation, don't forget to drop them in the comments and I will get back to you as soon as possible. And as I say, I will see you very soon in my next YouTube video. Until then, loads of love.